Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
7:37 on WMAL. Brian Neiman, Brian Wilson with you. So the president gave his big speech at the UN yesterday.
Right.
Lots of things going on in Syria today. Fox News national security analyst KT McFarland joins us now. She's also the host of FoxNews.com's DEFCON 3 show. You can check it out 2 o'clock later this afternoon on live.foxnews.com. Good morning, KT.
Good morning.
So the president's speech at the UN yesterday left the impression that this video somehow was a part of the reason why the consulate was attacked in Libya. But meanwhile, you have the president of Libya giving an interview to NBC saying that the film had no connection whatsoever to the attack and saying they chose September 11th to carry a certain mission. Your thoughts on the president? And there's still this, this trying to tie this video to the attack in Benghazi.
Oh, it's just such baloney. I mean, nobody believes it. I'm not even sure they believe it at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But why are they doing it?
Yes.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. One, if you say it's a terrorist attack and it's an Al-Qaeda affiliate, what happened to that whole claim? General Motors is alive, Bin Laden's dead, Al-Qaeda's finished. Hard to say Al-Qaeda's finished if it's alive and well and taking over the Arab Spring and killing American ambassadors. And, remember, American embassy is American territory. That's as if they attacked New York all over again on September 11th. So, but and then the second thing is by saying it's all about that dopey movie, it absolves them of responsibility. I mean, it's not their fault there was a dopey movie on YouTube. How could they be held responsible for what's happening in the Middle East? It's not because their policies have failed. It's because of some dopey movie. The thing there are a couple of things about it, though. If it's all about this movie, what the heck is going to happen in December when the Bin Laden movie comes out?
Good
the
point.
one the administration sponsored. The one that will show U.S. Navy SEALs shooting and killing Osama bin Laden. I mean, is the whole world going to erupt then?
All right, so what do you make about all this kerfuffle that has developed over the ambassador's diary, which was found by CNN and eventually returned to the family? Yeah. I mean, the administration, especially at the State Department, they seem to be just apoplectic about it. But it's a fair question. Hey, why did they not find it, and what else got left behind that others found?
Yeah, I mean, it's just if it wasn't so tragic, it would be like the Keystone Cops. They failed to protect the ambassador. They failed to protect the facility. They didn't protect the safe house. And now, after the fact, they didn't secure the grounds. I mean, it's just so frustrating to see because, if this isn't handled right, there are a couple of things that could happen. All those countries, which 18 months ago overthrew their leaders, because there are a large majority of young people who don't have jobs. And so they blamed their leaders. They got rid of their leaders. Now they got new leaders. But the new leaders are saying, well, it's not our fault you don't have any jobs. It's America's fault. So then you see this whole anti-American Islamist movement throughout that region, and we could see the whole region in 18 months' time go from being pro-American to anti-American. And then the second thing is by pushing Netanyahu away, by refusing to meet with him. The president is merely isolating Israel. And if you isolate Israel and push it into a corner with its back against the wall, then it's going to feel it's got to act alone. And if Israel acts alone, then it starts the war. And they may start it, but they don't finish it. We get pulled into it.
Well, do you get the sense that the president or the administration wants Israel to act alone?
No, because they know. I mean, they've said so many times, including sending high-level American military and diplomatic personnel to Israel saying, don't do anything. We'll help you. Wait till after the election. No, because if Israel does something alone, the United States presumably gets dragged in the retaliation from Iran, and then there becomes a regional war. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants another war in the Middle East, but I think the administration, by pushing Israel away, is pushing Israel into a corner. The other thing I thought was really just so cheesy was by Obama failing to meet with the world leaders while he's at the UN. While they're all in New York, this is the one time they're all there. Historically, it's a time where a lot of backroom deals are done. But why Obama isn't doing it, I don't buy any of these excuses that he's too busy or if he sees one, he has to see them all. I think he didn't do it because if he did it, he knew Romney could do it. Historically, if in an election season, if an American president goes abroad during election season, he sees the president, he sees the guy running for the presidency. Similarly, if a foreign leader sees President Obama while he's in New York, Romney has the right to ask for a meeting, too, and no leader is going to turn that down for fear that in a few months they're going to be talking to President Romney. So they're hedging their bets. And the Obama administration doesn't want Romney to look presidential. They don't want to see those pictures of Romney grinning and shaking hands with world leaders, because that undercuts their position that Obama has been a terrific foreign policy president and no one else could do it.
But Governor Romney can't ask for a one-on-one without the president, right?
Yes, it would make it more complicated, because everybody, they all hedge. So these guys are diplomats. They all hedge their bets all the time. They don't want to insult or anybody. So they don't. It's either both of them or none of them.
Interesting little diplomatic dance you got to go through there. Hey, China, they are putting forth their first aircraft carrier, and all kinds of mystery stuff going on in China. Bojilan is his name, I think. Mm-hmm. They had that whole thing where his wife killed a man apparently, and he's
now been sentenced to death.
and then like the president in waiting in China vanishes for like several days. Nobody knows where he is. He shows back up eventually. There's a lot of weird things going on in China. Then they're throwing out this aircraft carrier.
Well, and also China is going through, it's a generational shift of leadership. The way you should think about it is if the United States replaced the president, the vice president, the Supreme Court, all the leaders of the military and Congress, and did it all within a couple of months' time. That's what China's doing. It's replacing just all of its leaders. And so there's nobody's sure.
A lot of intrigue.
There's a lot of intrigue. And, China's a country which, at least for the last 20 years, has been sort of no drama China. They want to have everybody goes along. You don't see any of the infighting on the outside. It looks like it's a coherent and cohesive policy. But the problem that China faces is, what does it do when growth slows down? There's no glue that holds that society together, no ideology, except for you're going to have a better life than your parents have had. Now, if that slows down, what's the glue that holds them together? The Chinese have tried to stir up a lot of pro-Chinese nationalism, and I think it may come home to roost. I mean, I've talked to businessmen who say, in China in the last couple of years, they've just gotten more aggressive on everything. More aggressive in business deals, more aggressive in their foreign policy, more aggressive in their military development. They're just more aggressive. And there's a whole generation now that says, we've really regained our place that we've had for thousands of years as the center of the universe, and although for the last 200 we've had kind of a lousy run, we're back in charge.
All right, KT, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Thanks very much.